Christopher Bell is about to attempt something most drivers would never even consider. Not one race, not two, but 3 races in 3 days at one of the most unforgiving tracks in NASCAR. And what makes it even more intense is the timing. This decision comes right after a race that he knows he should have won. Last weekend at Las Vegas told the entire story of where Christopher Bell is right now. He was fast from the moment the weekend began. He earned the pole position, which already put him ahead of the field. When the race started, he did exactly what elite drivers are supposed to do. He controlled the pace, managed the field, and positioned himself as the driver to beat. Everything pointed toward a victory, but NASCAR races are rarely that simple. As the race moved into its later stages, the control he had built started to slip away. Strategy shifted, track position changed, and the advantage he once had disappeared. By the time the checkered flag waved, Bell crossed the line in 4th place. It is a result most drivers would accept. But when you start on the pole and lead with confidence, finishing 4th does not feel like success. It feels like something was left unfinished. That unfinished feeling is what led to the decision that followed. On March 17, 2026, Christopher Bell confirmed that he will attempt triple duty at Darlington Raceway. That means competing in all 3 national NASCAR series across one single weekend. On Friday night, he will step into the Truck Series, driving the number 62 Toyota for Halmar Friesen Racing. Less than 24 hours later, he will switch into the Xfinity Series, taking over the number 19 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Then on Sunday, he returns to the Cup Series in his full-time number 20 Toyota for the Goodyear 400. 3 races, 3 different cars, 3 completely different challenges, all stacked on top of each other with almost no time to reset. To understand why this is such a big deal, you have to understand Darlington Raceway. This is not just another track on the schedule. Darlington is one of the most difficult tracks in NASCAR. It is narrow, it is worn out, and it forces drivers into uncomfortable positions every single lap. The racing line runs dangerously close to the wall, and if you are not willing to push right up against it, you are not going to be competitive. Drivers often brush the wall here, earning what is known as the Darlington stripe. It is almost expected. But the difference between a slight scrape and a race-ending hit is incredibly small. One mistake, one moment of misjudgment, and your entire race can be over instantly. Now imagine handling that level of difficulty once. It is already exhausting. Now imagine doing it again the next day in a completely different car that behaves differently in the corners, responds differently to throttle, and wears tires differently over long runs. Then imagine doing it one more time on Sunday, knowing that this is the race that matters most. That is the reality Christopher Bell is stepping into. This is not just about racing more. It is about surviving one of the toughest mental and physical tests in the sport. But this decision is not just about pushing limits. It is also about gaining an advantage. Every lap that Bell runs on Friday in the Truck Series becomes valuable information. He learns how the track is evolving, how the tires are wearing, and where the grip is strongest and weakest. He gets to experience how the car reacts in traffic, how it handles long runs, and how the surface changes as rubber builds up. On Saturday, he takes all of that knowledge and applies it in the Xfinity race. He refines his approach, adjusts his lines, and gains even more data. By the time Sunday arrives, Bell will have something no other driver in the Cup field can match. Real race experience from the same track, in the same weekend, under real conditions. That kind of preparation can be the difference between being competitive and being dominant. At the same time, the risks are just as significant as the rewards. Darlington demands full concentration on every lap. There is no room for mental lapses. The physical strain alone is enough to challenge any driver. But when you stack 3 races together, the fatigue becomes a serious factor. Your reaction time slows, your focus starts to fade, and small mistakes become more likely. One slight miscalculation on Friday could damage the car or shake your confidence. A mistake on Saturday could increase the pressure heading into Sunday, and by the time the Cup race begins, the accumulated strain from the weekend could start to show. That is why most drivers avoid attempting triple duty. The risk of something going wrong increases with every lap. Christopher Bell, however, has built his career on handling situations like this. He is known for his ability to adapt quickly. Whether it is dirt racing, Xfinity, or Cup, He has consistently shown that he can jump into different types of cars and perform at a high level. That adaptability is one of his biggest strengths. It allows him to make adjustments on the fly and stay competitive even in unfamiliar situations. But even with that skill, Darlington presents a challenge that goes beyond simple adaptability. It tests patience, discipline, and precision all at the same time. There is also another layer to this weekend that adds even more intensity. Bell is not the only driver attempting triple duty. Ross Chastain is also expected to compete in all 3 races. That turns this into more than just a personal challenge. It becomes a direct comparison between 2 drivers pushing themselves to the limit. Every race becomes part of a larger story. Friday is not just about the truck race anymore, it is the opening chapter. Saturday builds on that momentum, and Sunday becomes the final test. Fans are not just watching individual races, they are watching a 3-day battle unfold. Despite everything happening across the weekend, the focus ultimately comes down to Sunday. The Cup Series race is what defines success. That is where the most points are awarded, and that is where the biggest impact on the season is made. A win on Sunday makes the entire weekend worth it. It justifies the risk, the effort, and the physical toll. But if something goes wrong on Sunday, it can overshadow everything that happened before it. Bell understands that clearly. That is why this decision is not reckless. It is calculated. He is not just chasing extra laps. He is trying to give himself the best possible chance to win when it matters most. If everything goes according to plan, the outcome could be huge. Winning even one race during the weekend would validate the strategy. Winning multiple races would elevate his status even further. And if he manages to dominate across all 3 series, it would be one of the most impressive performances in recent NASCAR history. It would show that he can handle pressure, adapt to different cars, and control a race weekend from start to finish. But if things do not go as planned, the consequences can be just as significant. One mistake, one crash, or one bad moment can derail the entire effort. The timing of this move also plays a critical role in the bigger picture of the season. Early in 2026, Bell has already proven that he has the speed to compete with the best drivers in the field. He has shown that he can lead races and contend for wins, but he has not yet fully established himself as the dominant force in the championship battle. This weekend gives him an opportunity to change that. It is a chance to take control, to build momentum, and to send a message to the rest of the field. In the end, this is about more than just running 3 races. It is about proving something. It is about taking a moment of frustration and turning it into an opportunity. It is about stepping into one of the most difficult situations in the sport and finding a way to come out on top. By the time Sunday night arrives, the outcome will be clear. Either Christopher Bell pushed too far and paid the price, or he took control of Darlington and delivered a performance that sets him apart from everyone else. 3 races, 3 days, 1 track that punishes mistakes, and 1 driver willing to take the risk to chase something bigger.